Be right with you guys. All right, so let's pull up futures here, and you guys will see price is kind of in this up channel going on right now. You can see buyers came back in right here at angular support, continuing to try to push price up. You see lots of heavy overhead resistance right between this 28.17 to 28.24 level. So we got to see if price can get above that level. And then right below that 2,900 will be some previous resistance from right back over here. So you got kind of like a head, left shoulder, like a head and shoulders-ish pattern. But you can see kind of a V bottom or a cup and handle pattern over here. So we'll see what happens. Got to keep an eye on it. Needs to get above, like I said, this kind of this 2820s area. So let's see what's going on this morning, what's running. We're using Trade Ideas pre-market gappers. You can see right over on our website over here, we post the gappers right under Trade Ideas daily gappers by 9 a.m. in the morning. So you can come over here and see what we're taking a look at over here. And let's take a look. So we've got AKTX. It's gapping up. The pattern is not the greatest at the moment. It went up. It dropped down right below that 290-ish marker. And so at this point, it needs to develop more of a pattern. Let's see where some support is here. 236. And then kind of that 205 area down in here. So you can see it gapped up to this 290 area, which is right over in here. And then kind of previous resistance area, right, that 236 right in here. And now fell right back down to that 204 area right down here. So keep an eye on it. You know, this thing, if it can reverse, you know, and move back up, you know, these are the next resistance levels, those 230s, 290s area. So at the moment, not so hot. It's one to keep off to the side and keep an eye on. Again, it is gapping up, so you got to watch and see if the pattern will form. Let's take a look at PAVM. So this one right here is gapping up on news. So you can see this one gapped up to that $1.39 marker, which is right over here at this level here. And then you can see some support probably right in 122-ish area. So you can see it kind of gapped up right to that 140s, fell back, and you kind of have that like kind of falling wedge-ish pattern right here. Then you see it's kind of breaking out again, pre-market, retesting support area. So at this point, you want to see if this thing can go break above that 139 level and then get ideally above that 150-ish level. Jermaine, if you're having billing issues, Jermaine, make sure you email right here, bbteam@bullishbears.com. Just shoot us an email with your account information. We'll pull it up and get you fixed. So at this point with PAVM, you want to see if this can continue up and get above that 139-ish marker. And then you can see some other previous resistance right around that 170-ish area at the top of that cup. Next up, we've got TEUM. So this is one right here. I don't know if this one's really news. It's not really much news, but it is gapping up at the moment. You can see pre-market high is at 472-ish, right over in here. I would look at $5, a whole dollar amount next up. So $5, keep an eye on some resistance there. And you can kind of draw your trend line right here, kind of connect the bases over in here. So watch with this one, you can kind of draw your channel up like this. So it kind of moved up, come back down here, up, come back down, see if the buyers will come back in and can push it up out of this channel. So TEUM is another one. You're welcome, Jermaine. So this one's looking maybe a little bit better at the moment. It's got some good volume. It's kind of got a clearly defined channel. And then obviously I'd look at if it can get above 472. Next up, look at $5, that whole dollar amount, and then $5.50 after that. Those whole and half dollar amounts very important. All right, so next up, let's take a look at DTEA. So this one I'm not seeing any news on, so this one's just gapping up without any news. You can see moved up to 165 pre-market, which puts you right over in this area, no surprise. Kind of some resistance right in here. So at this point now, you want to see if this thing's going to flag and hold that 9 EMA or if it's going to dump, right? You want to buy at support levels down in these areas and sell at resistance levels out in these areas. So again, we don't suggest trading pre-market, but you want to find these patterns. Like you can see, this is kind of like a flat top it built. Again, not much volume, but you can see it breaks out. It's near a support level, takes off. Then it gets like crazy far away from the moving average lines. Now you want to see it come back, let this 9 EMA catch up, and then see if it forms a flag or a possible entry. So we'll keep an eye on DTEA as well. So let's take a look if there's anything else. Oh, ACB, that's a pot stock. So this one is starting to move a little bit. You can see, yeah, it's got lots of news going on here. So this one kind of has a cup and handle-ish or inverse head and shoulders-ish, kind of breaking out of that 850-ish level, and then look, it goes right up to 905 and it's rejecting. No surprise with whole and half dollar amounts. So at this point, again, you want to see these patterns form, and you can see kind of it breaks out, comes back to the moving average lines, gives you a chance, then it breaks out again. Again, this is where you want to see when the market's open, this is the stuff you want to see. Like let it break out, move to the moving average lines, then maybe take a position. If you want to risk off a smaller candlestick like this hammer here, you still want to see it ideally a little bit closer to the moving average lines. You know, right here, this one would give you a little bit better of a shot. But then when it goes up like this, you want to see, okay, let the pattern form. Is it going to move up and potentially break out over that 905 area? At this point, you want to see it get above 905. So ACB is definitely one to watch. So you can see there's some support right around 850, and then I'd also look at that 865-ish level as well, and kind of could draw your trend line like that, and maybe even kind of like that. So this is where you got to like find the patterns, and then sometimes something will look like a descending triangle, and then it could be a symmetrical triangle overall. That's where, again, you want to have these trend lines to help you like find angular support and resistance. That's why we really like TrendSpider. It's a great tool, does it automatically for you. And if you're new, make sure you take our candlesticks courses to really help you out. So at this point, ACB is one to keep an eye on. Want to see it break out, and then ideally get above 905. If it can above 905 level, it's got some room to run. So that's one to definitely keep an eye on. Next up, And now AKTX is just kind of dumping at the moment. You want to see some type of pattern form at this one. TEUM, this one again, still kind of in this channel. It's moving up. You want to see it hold this channel. It's showing some weakness right now. This lower angular support, you want to see it hold, continue up, get out of that 470s, and then you can see $5 resistance and then $5.50, those whole and half dollar amounts. PAVM, again, kind of breaking out of this wedge, needs to get above that 139 marker, and then ideally 150, those whole, again, whole and half dollar amounts. And Vuzi, not news a couple days ago. This one you got to watch and see if this is going to build a pattern. Right now it's not. Maybe starting to form something over in here. But keep an eye on this 414 level. So this may be a double bottom being set up. So you can see, or an inverse head and shoulders kind of. So you can see a left shoulder, head, right shoulder. This may be forming a breakout. You can see that pink line right there is the 50 SMA. So if it can break out over that, I would look at 450 as the next resistance level. So keep an eye on this one if it forms a pattern. This one might be a sleeper one that has a chance to potentially break out. Kind of has, again, kind of an inverse head and shoulders. Now let's look at the hourly. Yeah, so if it can get above that 420-ish level, again, you can see kind of a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline here. You can see it's dropped right below that 421 level. So again, got to break out above that level and continue going upwards. So again, still there's some decent ones, but got to watch it open, see what happens. Again, the market, if you look at futures, is kind of in this rising channel here and heavy overhead resistance going back to these 2820s levels. So it's got to, you want to see it get above that kind of that 2820s level, and then next up would be that like 2900-ish area. So if for those of you guys that are not members, if you head over to our website bullishbears.com, again, right under scanners here, we post trade ideas, daily gappers, which is where we're getting these pre-market movers that I'm showing you right now. We post them every day over here. And for those that are members, we actually post our live screen share link each day. So if you want to try out trade ideas before you buy it, if you're a member, again, we share our screen share. You would just come in, you would log in over here, and we have a members only area that we share our live screen share each day. And then also here, again, we have a really fun, great community, very interactive. We have day trade room, swing trade room, futures room. So this is where you really learn, because we do live streaming each day. So if you come in, we do live streaming. You can learn in our day trade, swing trade, futures room, and basically practice what you learn from us real time. And then we do over here trade alerts and watch lists. So each night we post our watch lists by 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right over here. And for those who are members, we post the trade alerts here. And you'll see if you just check out our blog here, we post all of our results each week for our trade alerts. And we're close to almost 90% triggered rate on all of our alerts. So our alerts really fire off like crazy. So, you know, if you're a member, just make sure you keep an eye on these alerts. And if you're new, again, and you're not really, you're still learning, you know, take our trade alerts on our watch list, open a virtual account in a company like Thinkorswim or Interactive Brokers and practice. So take our watch list and alerts, come into one of our trade rooms each day and practice in a virtual account for a few months and learn from the other community members. Become a that's how you become a good trader, and then you start scaling your way up with real money once you become comfortable. But you want to practice in a virtual account first. But this is the stuff we teach every single day in our trade rooms. And if you're new, you can come over to our homepage over here. And if you haven't taken our courses, you can create a free membership. We'll send you a login. You'll just log in right up over here, go under education, and you'll see free courses. And right over here, if you need help getting started, we have about $3,000 worth of free courses to help you get started right underneath here. All right. So hopefully this helped you guys. You have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you all later. Enjoy.